but I never knew that he had a Facebook.
And then he showed up at your house.
Can we cut this shit now? I get it. I dated a bat. I dated a vampire, okay? Jesus. You dated headlights, girl.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the Shinobi Squad Podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
It's a beautiful day in Los Angeles. The birds are chirping. Nostalgia's kicking in. Today, I want to talk about people from the past, people from high school, junior high, whatever. Ghosts from the past popping up in the present.
This is going to be fun.
Or what my brain likes to call high school union revenge. We all got these people that show up out of nowhere, so I figured let's share some of our stories. I'll start with a story of a person that I still see on my Facebook to this day. I guess I should go first. Back in the day, which was a Tuesday. When someone says back in the day, it always means Tuesday, according to Dane Cook. Young kids out there is like, who's Dane Cook?
You're old.
Exactly, Dane Cook. Anyways, there was this girl named Ashley. I guess to describe her social group, she was a part of the Plastics. For those who know Mean Girls, Plastics were the cool girls, the it girls, the hot girls of school. Myself, on the other hand, I was not a part of the Plastics on the male side. I was considered a loser and a nerd. We used to read our gaming magazines in the corner and talk about secrets on Mortal Kombat that weren't revealed yet.
You knew a plastic, really?
Exactly, right? Exactly. I'm still thinking about it to this day, that how that crossover even happened. I wasn't a jock. I was on the track and field team. That doesn't really count as a sport.
Well, it depends.
Well, according to the people that played football and basketball and baseball, like track and field was just kind of something that you did because you couldn't get into the other teams.
It's not very manly. But...
Exactly. Like there was no hose for track and field athletes per se. Wasn't very glorious, and half our parents didn't even show up. So now that you know my backstory of being a loser and on the track team, pretty much we were in the same class. She was dating a bunch of the actual jocks. And naturally, like jocks do in high school, they treat girls like crap. And there was this thing where like the jocks were just going through the different Plastics. And they were all eventually dating each other's exes and girlfriends. But none of them cared. It was a part of the ecosystem.
The ecosystem.
It was.
Circle jerk squad.
It was the circle jerk circle of life. This girl, Ashley, befriended me and would just tell me about her troubles. I was friend zoned before I was a friend, I guess.
Oh, wow.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
She would just tell me everything. I'm like, okay, cool. We weren't even friends like that. So fast forward, Ashley and her boyfriend at the time were at the school camp getaway.
School camp getaway.
Yeah. We had this thing where everyone went to camp for a week. And it was the most exciting thing ever. You're away from your parents. Well, Ashley's boyfriend at the time was super horny.
Oh, God.
And he was just obsessed with getting Ashley to touch his penis.
Oh, jeez.
And then she told me about it. She finally got sick of him trying to get her to touch his penis that she broke up with him.
Anyways.
Young high school hormones. What do you expect?
I mean, I guess, yeah, this is...
I will never forget what she told me. She was like, God, I wish I could just cut my hand off so he could touch his own penis with my dead hand.
Ew, what? It got that far? It was that deep?
Yeah, it was that deep.
Oh,
she was so sick of him using every excuse for her to touch his penis. She was like, I just want to give him my hand so he can just touch his own penis and leave me the hell alone.
Fucking nymphos.
Exactly. Why are you telling me this?
She needed to vent.
She did need to vent. Just because we had a couple classes together. Yeah, that was it. So fast forward to the next year, now that we established this awkward friendship, she kind of started paying a little more attention to me. And it's funny how people don't want you until you're with someone else.
Right.
I started dating this girl that was also deemed a nerd. all of a sudden these plastics were like, why are you dating her? You know she has headlights, right?
Oh,
Just saying all this
wow.
stuff. Oh, her parents are poor. I'm sitting there like, well, my parents are poor. And for all we know, somebody in my family had headlights, so I don't really care. I'm like, she's a nice person.
Right.
I never really dated anyone at the time, mind you. Again, I was a loser. So I was just happy for any affection. I didn't care what anyone had to say. The plastics went on this campaign to try to get me to not date her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad. Then they went on this campaign like, oh, but you're so cute. You're so much better than this girl.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden, I'm cute because I'm dating poor headlights girl? Like that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there thinking, is this some ploy to hurt headlights girl? I shouldn't call her headlights girl.
Headlights girl.
Because I
She
dated
was your
her.
girlfriend.
So bad.
My God.
She was my girlfriend.
But did she have headlights, though? Do you know?
Never confirmed it. It's not
Did
like
you look in her hair?
No, it's not like I was like, hey girl, let me check your hair. You know, I liked her for who she was, headlights and all. Okay,
Nice.
headlights
More men need to be
doesn't
like you.
change someone's personality.
Unless they're taking over your brain.
I mean, ew, gross.
I watch too much sci-fi stuff.
I mean, I wasn't
My
gonna invite her
apologies.
over to my house with all her headlights.
Right.
So I'm not dumb. So of course I'm really thinking about that. Are these plastics just trying to sabotage this girl?
Right.
I don't give into it. Then the flirting campaign goes even harder. Well, you know, I think you're cute, and this girl thinks you're cute, so why don't you just break up with her?
Mm-hmm.
As tempting as it was being young to be like, I can date one of the hot girls. Even my friends was like, dude, do this for us.
Do this for.
Let us live vicariously through you.
We need intel.
We do. Hold her hand. What kind of lotion does she wear? What do they smell like?
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it. My parents raised me better.
You're
This
a good
girl
boy.
took a chance on my loser reading game magazine ass. I'm not just going to abandon her. With that said, I wrote that relationship out. Funny thing was, she ended up breaking up with me.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
The audacity.
The audacity.
Does she know what she was up against?
Of headlights girl.
Oh my God.
Broke up with me? You
Did she
broke
know
up
the
with-
stakes?
She didn't. I kept that from her to spare her feelings. I never told
Wow.
her that the plastics were shooting their shot.
Wow. Good boy.
I never told her that. A lot of my friends didn't want to tell her either.
Mm-hmm.
I was sad, of course. I was kind of shocked. Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember why she broke up with me.
Because she heard that you had headlights.
Oh, right. Oh, damn. If that was the case, ooh.
It's like, I'm sorry, but I heard that you
Ooh.
had headlights.
Oh.
Like, all the stories I heard about you.
I'm gonna build a time machine, go back and pay one of my lady friends to beat her ass if that was the
Oh my-
case. You ain't gonna dump me for headlights. I had nice, good hair back then.
You had hair.
I used to maintain my hey. That is a sensitive subject for us airbenders, all right? Don't talk about the sacrifices we've made. I'm back on the market, as they say. Ashley comes and talks to me. The plastics come and talk to me. I'm still sad, but then I'm kind of feeling good about myself. Like, okay, well, I guess I can date one of these plastics now.
Mm-hmm.
Since Ashley and I were actually closer, we started dating. As I said in an earlier podcast, I was so into hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I had dreams of being the first Asian rapper to make it. I had big dreams. Unfortunately, living in the small town in Western Michigan that I did, nobody ever even heard of a recording studio.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea where to make music. I had no idea where to do any of that stuff. This was in the era before all this readily available internet and recording stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any knowledge of hip hop equipment I had came from magazines that I used to read and buy. Still wrote music, still did all this to live out my hip hop dreams as much as I could. The magical day came. I bought a 3-piece shelf boombox.
Boombox.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
For those young kids out there, a boombox was the device that we used to play music off of. It was like the size of your refrigerator. If you were lucky, the speakers could detach.
Oh, wow.
That was the epitome of being awesome. It had dual cassette decks,
I'm trying to imagine this device.
a CD player. Okay, for those who don't know what a cassette player is, think of Guardians of the Galaxy. What
That's so sad.
they had on the ship and what Star-Lord was carrying around. All right. I had dual tape decks,
Ooh.
a CD
fancy.
player. For those who don't know what CDs are, remember when you
think
used to
one
get those AOL discs in the mail and you just throw those away? Those are CDs. Those contained music back then.
Oh, my God.
So it had CD player. But the one thing that it had that I had never seen before was a microphone input. I saw that and my rap career was born. Oh, shit. All I need is a microphone and I got a recording studio right here.
Oh, my God.
I'm about to take off. I'm about to sign with Death Row.
Death Row.
I love Death Row and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre at the time. I wanted to sign with Death Row. I didn't care if Suge Knight threw me off the balcony. Just give me that Death Row chain and that record deal. I didn't care. Went to Radio Shack by myself.
Radio Shack. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. For those who know what Radio Shack is, watch Captain Marvel. So I bought this microphone that had the right input, like an 1/8-inch little headphone jack. You knew damn well that audio was going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
Plugged in that little crappy microphone, started rapping my ass off. Oh, shit. I'm recording in a professional studio now. Boy, did it sound like crap. I couldn't rap, but back then, shit, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm surprised I didn't put tinfoil in my mouth to make grills. Recorded my very first mixtape. I filled up a whole tape. It was like an hour's worth of terrible music. I made probably 6 to 8 copies on cassette.
Wow.
I gave one to my English teacher,
Oh, wow.
Mr. Myers. Shout out to you. You taught me how to write and use words. He was super supportive, so that's why I gave it to him, because I was like the top of his class, so he had no choice but to support your boy. But then I gave one to Ashley. I wrote a song for her.
Oh, wow.
2 songs.
Two for one
2
special.
songs for Ashley. Mm-hmm. And she never touched my penis after that.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, just kidding. Just kidding. Did she or did she not? That's for a later podcast. I gave her this mixtape. She cherished it. She was like, "Oh, you wrote songs for me?" Of course, we broke up a couple months later. We didn't last that long. Lost touch with her. I had switched schools. Fast forward to the present. I'm on Facebook. I get a request. Guess who it is? It's Ashley.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at it like, like, that's gotta be her. Accept a friend request. First message I get, she says something like, "I knew that was you. I looked through all your little costume pictures, but I could tell that's your face." So naturally, I was like, "So what made you want to come seek me out on Facebook?" Well, funny you ask. I was cleaning up my room and I found a box of sentimentals. Guess what I still have?
Uh-oh.
Your mixtape on cassette.
Wow.
She's like, "I put this away back then because I knew you would be somebody famous one day.
Wow.
Now that I'm looking through your Facebook, I'm glad I held on to it."
Aw.
She's like, "I see you on tour doing things. I see you in all these events." Quick side note, at the time she hit me up, I was on tour. I was promoting one of my mixtapes I did earlier. I was also guesting at a lot of cons. I was at a lot of events. I was out there promoting my music. Back to Ashley, she was like, "Yeah, I looked through all your albums, all your pictures. I see you and your little hip hop group. Y'all got shows here and there. And now you're doing this costume thing and you're on tour in costume." She's like, "Yeah, I still got your mixtape. So if you want it back, it's going to cost you."
Oh, wow.
I was like,
No,
"You
she did.
bitch. You bitch. You didn't hit me up on some nostalgia shit. You hit me up trying to collect some money.
Because she knew you probably didn't have that mixtape anymore.
No.
Even though you made 8 of them.
I didn't. As I got older and I listened to it again, I realized how crappy it was. So I threw it away and destroyed whatever copies I had.
Oh.
I didn't want to hold on to it and remember this moment. I didn't want any proof of how crappy it sounded.
I kind of want to hear this mixtape. You should contact her again.
Everything was it was just terrible. It's like Fisher Price, my first mixtape.
Fisher Price.
That's how bad it was.
Not even Casio.
It wasn't. Like audio and just the song structure. It was bad. It was so bad. I never tried to get it back from her yet. But like I said, she was so hell-bent on keeping it. She was like, one day, this is going to be worth a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Either your fans are going to buy it from me or you're going to buy it from me. Either way, I'm getting paid.
Oh, wow.
I'm holding on to this.
Damn, she about to get this money.
This girl, exactly. I couldn't believe it. I still think about that mixtape to this day.
It's like embedded in the back of your memory somewhere. Like, I wonder. I've
low-key been trying to plot ways to meet up with her and get it back and destroy the evidence before it ever surfaces. Exactly.
Because at the same time, yeah, you're right. That could be some dirt against you.
It could be. I don't know what I could have said back then, especially in this social media generation where people will burn you at the stake for things you said when you were 6.
When you were 6.
I need that tape back.
You should get it back.
She ain't about to put me on media takeout.
She's going to see this podcast and
shade
be like...
room.
She's going to have her DNA embedded into like the passwords and everything.
Exactly.
She's going to get a whole home system lockdown thing.
And she really did put in her work to find me. She had to track down my old friends from high school and go through all their mutual friends lists to find me.
Wow.
And that's how she found me. One of these days, I'll either get this mixtape back or y'all will hear it online first. That was my first story of high school reunion revenge, even though I didn't do her wrong. So I don't know why she's trying to get revenge on me.
Who says she's trying to get revenge?
I know. She's just trying to have a come up.
You're just thinking about that all wrong.
I know.
You're going to the deepest depths of your brain right now.
I know. I'm getting paranoid. Like, why would you do that to me? You dumped me.
She didn't say that she was.
Okay. But if you're listening, Ashley, shout out to you. You were the first girl I made out with, so memories.
Aw.
You taught me how to kiss. Let me throw it to you, Shana.
Shit.
You already laughing. You didn't say anything.
No, because it's a funny story. Bear with me here. Let's take it back to my sophomore year in high school.
Back in the day?
Was it on a Tuesday.
Okay.
It might have been a Tuesday.
Just
I don't know.
Just making sure.
In case you guys didn't know, quick backstory about myself. I still am, kind of a punk rock, gothic. I was that in nature and in style back in high school, and I kind of still am to this day. Even more so in high school because I went to a Lutheran high school on top of that, where we really couldn't wear jeans or t-shirts and stuff like that to school. Like, we didn't have a uniform, but we couldn't wear jeans and stuff like that. I kind of, I guess, developed this sense of style because for the sole fact that I couldn't like these things. I was raised Baptist. I went to a Lutheran school, which is weird.
Okay, I'll pause. So I'm like Lutheran. I don't know my religions like that.
All you need to know is Baptist and Lutheran are two different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to like faith-based private school,
right?
Okay.
Let's just keep it like that.
I'm like,
to get into specifics,
what's a Lutheran school? I went to a public school, so
I should just say I was raised religious, and my school was also a religious kind of school.
Okay. That's why you couldn't wear jeans, because jeans are sin.
Jeans are the fabric of the devil.
Ooh, okay. Continue.
So, with that being said, we weren't allowed to wear jeans. We weren't allowed to wear studs and bondage wear is what they used to call it. Yeah. Like all the chokers and the loose fitting clothes and like the I don't know if you guys remember the Trip NYC pants from Hot Topic back in the day.
Like the
It was
raver pants?
Yeah, the raver pants is what they
Okay.
call them now. They were never raver pants, but anyways, because you said I couldn't like those things, I was naturally drawn to those kind of things. So I waited until Spirit Week. I mean, you guys should know, like Spirit Week is in every high school.
Yeah, it's like a pep rally.
Yeah, it's like a pep rally where it's like 1 week where they where all the students can do something crazy. Like there's crazy hair day. There's, I don't know, wear a jersey day. There was weird things like that. Like, but
yeah, it's usually the week that leads up to like homecoming.
Right.
Or
Yeah, that's what
or
it was.
some big game or
Yeah.
thing in school.
One of the days was Twin Day. So me and my best friend at the time, we had to dress up as each other to be a part of Twin Day.
Yeah.
So this week was the best week of anyone's life going to this school, because that meant that you could wear whatever you wanted.
I can finally wear jeans.
And people would just participate for the fact that they just wanted to wear jeans.
Yeah.
They might not have even been like into it or whatever, just in like sports or whatever. But so everyone's in their gear, everyone's doing their thing. So me and my best friend decided to go to Hot Topic. I just thought in my little gothic brain, like, this is my time to shine. Like, this is what I want to do. So me and my friend were kind of into the same thing. So she's like, yeah, like she wasn't gothic or anything, but she was just into being alternative and looking different. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's just go to Hot Topic and buy those pants finally, because those pants were $40 a pop, depending on which style you bought. It started at $40 and it just went up from there. So I'm like, this is the perfect time to buy these pants. Like, I really want to wear this style. So we both bought the same pants. They had like just a regular, I guess, raver pants, but they had like the chains and the everything that a little gothic person would love, all the studs and stuff. So we wore that to school for Twin Day. There was this group of gothic kids that went to my high school when they were all in the same grade.
Yeah.
They're pretty much like the goths of the school, because there were no other goths. When we were sporting our goth gear, I caught the attention of that group. And one of the guys in the group, his name was, I'm just going to say his real name because we honestly don't have any contact anymore. And he's not on my social media. So Jim.
Wait. Jim? Is this the same Jim from the
No, that was
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Jim and Jim E.
So his name is James, but James is such like an old person's name. So like, no offense, but
no offense to Harry Potter's dad.
Whatever. But anyway, so Jim, he was in his senior year, and all the gothic kids were in their senior year. My other best friend at the time was really into him because she was gothic to the heart. Like, she was gothic hardcore. Like, she was gothic to the point where she kind of looked at me like I was a poser, because I looked at it as like a fashion statement. I wasn't really like doom and gloom or anything like that, or I wasn't like.
She called you a poser because
you didn't call me a poser, but she
thought you were a poser because you didn't eat Count Chocula cereal.
Oh my God.
3 times a day.
I wasn't about that life hardcore, but I just love the style. I love the aesthetics of it. I loved gothic.
I'm still stuck on a gothic kid was named Jim. Like, Jim is not
He's not gonna like change his name. Like, what is he gonna be, Lucifer?
Just I don't know. Just the name Jim isn't very gothic. I know that people don't have like names like I'm Lucifer, but sorry, my brain's thinking of a kid named Jim. Because I went to like kind of like a rednecky school in junior high.
Rednecky school.
So I vision a guy in like camouflage named
Oh my
Jim.
God.
Anyway, sorry for my brain
Anywho,
farting.
So Jim, we didn't know each other right away. We didn't even really get to know each other at all. I only know that I caught his attention because I also liked emo bands back then. I loved emo, like, it was just something about it being different than other music that was in my community and that was allowed to be played at my school. So it was just, I just was attracted to things that were opposite.
Yeah.
So I loved emo music. I loved like Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. Everybody in my school did this. They wrote lyrics in the inside of their like binders or the notebooks and stuff like that. So I wrote lyrics inside of my notebook that were from an emo song.
Yeah.
I don't remember what song it was, but it was along the lines of cutting your wrists and doing things, and like it was just
like every emo song ever.
It was pretty emo. I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't like that, but I wrote lyrics in one of my notebooks, and I noticed that it went missing. So Jim one day comes up to me, maybe like the last month of school and everything. He comes up to me and says, "Hey, I had this at my house. My little brother kind of picked this up by accident."
Yeah.
So I know it's because I wrote my name inside the
Yeah.
notebook and everything. So he knew it was mine. And he's like, so this is yours. And then we kind of just had a conversation pertaining to this notebook. That was kind of his opening. But quick story before that is his little brother, Jeremy. I actually liked him more because he was like the blonde hair, blue eyes, like again, opposite of anything that was around me at the time. Like I liked him more. His older brother, Jim, like I knew of him and I've seen him in hallways because he was like always dressed in black. Like
Yeah.
at some point he did like half blonde, half black hair.
It's
like
not
just
hard
like
to miss a vampire
yeah, it's not
at a church school.
miss a vampire. Like he was attractive, but I wasn't attracted to him. If that makes sense.
I
Like
mean, he better be attractive if he's a vampire.
at the time, like I wasn't that hardcore. Like I couldn't look at him and just be like, "Oh my god, vampire daddy, vampire zaddy." Like I wasn't, I wasn't at that level yet.
Yeah.
I was only a sophomore, and I was just introduced into like this whole goth and punk culture. So his little brother was the one that stole my notebook because he had a crush on me,
Yeah.
and I never knew about it. Long story short, the younger brother took my notebook, and Jim found it in their house somewhere and was like, "Okay, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk to this girl finally." Because remember, he saw me in those Trip NYC pants.
Oh,
He saw my potential, my goth potential. So he was like, "Oh, let me holler at this shorty real quick." Needless to say,
I don't think vampires use the word shorty.
in his own way, in his own gothic way, he was trying to holler at your girl. So we never were in contact, like face to face like that ever again after that. So we continued our relationship via phone. We would text back and forth, but mostly we would just call and talk to each other because he went off to go to college somewhere very far away from where we were.
Transylvania?
Probably. It might as well have been Transylvania because in my high school little heart, like I couldn't see him anymore.
Yeah.
I was very sheltered as a kid, especially in high school because I was older. I was getting into things that I never got into before when I was a kid. Like, so my mom was like on lockdown. Like I couldn't leave. I couldn't hang out with my friends, nothing like that. So I was on strict lockdown. I couldn't leave to go see Jim, even if I wanted to, because my mom kept tabs on this ass. Like I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't even fart without her knowing.
Yeah.
It was like that. So me and Jim just kept in contact through phone and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's pretty expensive to go from Chicago to Transylvania, unless you can transform into a bat.
You can't take the blue line out there.
Yeah, you gotta turn into a bat and fly your ass over there.
Blah.
Blah. Hello, Jim. Blah.
Still, like, even when we were talking, like, I didn't think of anything really of him in the beginnings of when we were talking. I just thought, okay, I made a new friend. Like, maybe he can teach me about being gothic, and maybe he can teach me about new bands, and we can go to Hot Topic together one day. I wasn't even thinking about that. So
back when Hot Topic was dark and spooky.
Yeah, back when Hot Topic was cool. But so we kept in touch during the summer, and out of nowhere, he just asked me to be his girlfriend because we would talk every single day.
Yeah.
So naturally, you know, we kind of gained feelings. Well, he had feelings for me before any of this, like apparently, I guess, because he had confessed to me like, oh, you know, we've been to the same high school, and I kind of had a crush on you and stuff like that. We became boyfriend and girlfriend. Back then, MySpace was a thing, so we were on each other's profiles.
Were you in the top 8?
We were both in each other's top 8.
Okay, because it wasn't official unless you're in the top 8.
Also in his top 8, I found another girl.
Ooh.
She was maybe, I think, I don't even know. I think I was number 1, and then this girl was number 2.
Ooh.
Or something like that. It was one of the two. Because I didn't really care about that, honestly. Like, I just saw it as like, okay, at least if I'm there, then it's whatever. If I wasn't on that list, then we have problems. But I wasn't too particular, like if I'm number 1, number 2, whatever. But because I was his girlfriend, then we were both each other's number 1. This girl ended up being someone that he was seeing on the side.
Ooh.
I found
Side
that
vampire
out.
chicks.
I found, well, no, she wasn't even a vampire either. Like, she was not even gothic. She was just a regular girl, a regular ass girl, just like me. So I put my dukes up. And how I found out that they were kind of seeing each other, because I was digging deep. To this day, I'm still a detective when it comes to social media. I happened to click on her profile, and I saw something that they said to each other in like passing, like, or past, what do they call it? Bulletins?
Yeah.
The past bulletins and stuff like that when they were like chatting back and forth and talking about each other and referring to each other. And then I went as far as looking at their pictures and what they were saying to each other and how they were commenting each other. And they would say lovey-dovey things like, "Oh, babe, I hope you have a good night." And like, she had this whole album of nothing but him and her.
Ooh.
And I never even really thought to look, because
she exposed Count Chocula.
The way that they were talking to each other, like on like, I guess just their normal page was like friendly, like we've known each other our whole lives, kind of thing. So I didn't really think anything of it until I dug deeper into the comments of the pictures. The pictures are personal, so that's why I looked at the pictures. It just became clear that they were seeing each other. I confronted him about it. I'm like, "Who is so and so? Who is this girl?" And he's like, "Oh, she's just a friend. She's this and that," and like trying to like, not spill the beans on who this girl is. I'm like, "I know you guys are seeing each other. I know there's something going on. So why don't you just be upfront about it?" Because mind you, we haven't seen each other since high school face to face. So we're just on the phone. And I'm like, we might as well just come clean, because we're not even, I can't see you. You can't see me. I know things are like weird right now. Just let me know. Just tell the truth. He didn't really say anything about it. Like he just left it at that. They're just friends or whatever. But I made the decision to just cut all ties with him, because I'm like, I get that I can't come see you, but you don't have to lie to me, and we don't have to keep doing this. So I cut it. It was over. So fast forward maybe 3 years later, I'm now a freshman in college. He's somewhere, I don't even know, but I'm
Transylvania,
becoming a top tier vampire,
full-fledged vampire.
But anyways, I'm just minding my own business. Now we've gone from MySpace to Facebook at this point. I'm on Facebook, just doing my thing, whatever. And I see a message pop up from Jim.
You better put some respect on his name. He's Count Jim by this time. He's in college. You're in college. His name is Count Jim.
He was probably out of college by now, but
but I don't know what comes after Count I don't know what comes after Count in vampire hierarchy.
I don't either, honestly. I didn't get that far. But
Dracula Jim. Anyways.
But I never knew that he had a Facebook.
And then he showed up at your house.
Can we cut this shit now? I get it. I dated a bat. I dated a vampire, okay? Jesus. You dated headlights, girl.
Touche. All right, sorry.
We were both on Facebook. He pops up in my DMs. "Hey, what's up?" Just small talk, I guess. Like, I don't even remember what he said, but it was just small talk, just popping in to see how I was doing. Just in the same fashion, we talked a lot on the phone. We were texting and in each other's DMs all the time. It just became a thing for us. Like, we just, I guess, got a little bit closer in that way, but I still wasn't attracted to him. Like, I wasn't like into him even.
Yeah, you just kind of like rekindled like a little bit of flames. It felt nice.
It felt nice.
It felt familiar.
Yeah, it did. It was just an old friend coming back into my life, basically. That's how I treated him. Jim finally admitted, "I know I messed up when we were together. I know that things were weird between us and stuff like that, but I kind of just want to just be friends and see where this can go." And because he still had feelings for me, and I got that. I'm like, well, it's cool. Like, you're still a vampire, so I guess I can see where things can go, because like I was still into my gothic phase and stuff like that.
And you still had them expensive ass trip pins.
Oh, yeah. I kept those for years. Those were $40.
$40. You had to be high school rich to buy those kind of pants.
Those were couture in my day. Okay,
couture.
Like those were couture. Okay, so I kept those bad boys. I didn't wear them after that, but like I still kept them. They were in my little glass case.
Oh, yeah. I kept my Jinko jeans. I kept my Jinko jeans for the longest time.
I wish I had bought a pair of those. Those are
$50 jeans to kids back then.
Those were $50 though?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
When Jinkos was popping, that was $50.
Damn.
Yeah, like I didn't have a job, of course. I had to like save up lunch money.
Lunch money.
I didn't eat lunch just so I can have
I saved up my
jeans.
lunch money to get my NYC pants, my trip NYCs.
Exactly.
So I understand that struggle.
That was the high school kid hustle. Just save up your lunch money because you had no other source.
That's exactly why I saved them bad boys for any particular reason. I just saved them away. Jim's like, let's hang out. He didn't say it was a date. He didn't say anything of those lines. He just said, let's hang out. I can't even. Okay, first of all, he pulls up in a minivan. He's not driving. His mom is driving. His mom is in the front seat. And of course, I didn't know that. Like, he didn't say anything up until this point. He's just saying, "Oh, we're gonna go hang out."
So this was his redemption moment.
I still see his mom pulling up in my driveway to this, like, in my mind right now. I see him to this day, just in the back seat of a minivan. He was
in the back?
In the back seat. Back seat.
Uber.
It gets worse.
His mom was his Uber. Was it even a nice minivan, or was it one of
those? It was just a regular
old ass one with the wood grain on the side? Did the door even slide?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't an old one. It was just a regular minivan, whatever.
Okay. So he kind of did you dirty because he was seeing some other girl on the side, and then he wants to redeem himself by having his mom chaperone 2 college kids.
He didn't know how to drive. I don't know if he didn't know how to drive or he just didn't have his license.
I mean, that makes sense
because
he just turns into a bat and flies around. So his mom rolls up in a minivan. Okay, I'm just trying to get the listeners current on what's going on. So Dracula Jim rolls up in a minivan.
It wasn't even tricked out or anything.
It wasn't even tricked out. Pimp my ride. Mom edition.
So get this. So I get in the back seat with Jim. I'm like, hey, what's up, Mom? So then my mom is like, of course, like still on protective mode, just out the front door waving at his mom.
He rolled up to your house?
Yes. Where would he roll up to?
I don't know. Maybe you met him at somewhere.
No, he rolled up to my house. Because I didn't know it was his mom. Like, I didn't know. So, like, I'm thinking it's going to be me and him. But then my mom kind of waves to his mom. It was a thing. And my mom's kind of, like, laughing in the background. Like, you're going to go on a date with his mom. Good. Okay. Good. She was happy. She's like, good for me. Like, I don't have to worry. Yeah. So, she's thinking, that his mom is just like her. So,
yeah.
So I hop in the back seat.
You're probably surprised your mom didn't jump in the passenger side.
And have a white Zinfandel on the way.
Yeah, chaperone both of y'all asses.
I'm thinking we're gonna go back to the crib. She's gonna just go. No, we roll up to Aldi's.
Aldi's, all right.
The supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Aldi's. She needed to pick up some groceries and do her little errands really quick, just since she's in the car, and because she needed to do her thing first before she let us kids run off and do our thing.
Couldn't even get y'all no name brand snacks.
No, because this is going to be important later, because this is
got y'all that Dr. Topper and that Mountain Splash soda.
The Shasta.
The
Shasta. But this is going to be important. Why we went to Aldi's beforehand is going to be important later. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Aldi's before, but I don't even know if they do this anymore. It's still back in the day, but you have to put the little quarter
in the shopping cart?
To get the shopping cart.
Oh, yeah.
So
I was just about to ask.
The mom gets her own shopping cart. She puts a little quarter in, whatever. Mm-hmm. Jim gets his own shopping cart because he thinks that this is the time to, like, be romantic. So he gets his own shopping cart, so that we can be together and his mom can just do the shopping. So as we're like
Dracula dollars.
As he's pushing the cart, he kind of like reaches for my hand as he's pushing the cart. I'm just like, I guess, like, let I didn't even know what to say. I'm just like, here's my hands. Let's go shopping at Aldi. So
low key, that's kind of smooth because I did that before.
It was embarrassing because I just heard that. But anyways, it was embarrassing because one of the workers at Aldi walked past and saw us holding hands. He's like, "Oh, you guys must be in love if you're holding hands at Aldi's." I'm just like, kill me now. And Jim's just like, yeah, like, we're just going on a date at Aldi. I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, what, can this end already? Because we just got here, but I'm already mortified. We get back to his house, his mom's house, because he doesn't really live there.
Mom didn't, like, say nothing to you at the store?
No.
Jim, don't forget your groin cream. You know how itchy you get at night. Don't forget the bandages for your butt.
Honestly, after the whole you guys must be in love thing, like after that I kind of blacked out. I have no idea what happened after that. I have absolutely no idea what happened. So we get back to his house. I say he didn't live there because Jim was pretty much fresh out of college at this point, so he was just trying to figure out like what his plan B was going to be next, or I don't even know. I didn't even ask. I'm just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
So we make it
already.
We make it back to his place, and his house is full of people. Well, it was his mom and his dad. 3 people were exchange students from Germany and Europe and wherever else. Like, it was a nice house, but like everybody was just there, and I'm just like, so when are we gonna go hang out, Jim? Like, what are we gonna do? I meet all the exchange students. I meet the mom and dad. But we go up to his room, which was just a regular room because he hadn't been there. He had been in college. So it was just basically a room with a computer and a bed in it. We're just sitting there talking. And his mom comes up the stairs. The door was already open, but she pops in through the door and says, just checking to see if the door's open. Okay, because you're in my house, so whatever you're going to do right now, the door needs to stay open. I was like, wow. Wow.
Dracula Jim, you really going to take this shit from her?
God, I was like, oh, dude. First of all, your mom took us to Ollie's, and now she's popping in to make sure we're not having sex or something. I was like, first of all, take me home.
Yeah.
So that happens, and then I kind of just feel awkward. So anything that could have happened, I was already checked out at this point.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do anything, but if anything was happening in his head at this point, was already gone. Like, I was down the stairs after that. I was like, nope. No. I was gone. I was like,
if you had a dick, any boner you had went away.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming you don't have a dick.
So I go downstairs because I just feel awkward at this point because mind you, this house is full of people. So anything that we're doing alone in this house is going to be noted by everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel awkward. I walk downstairs. I'm just like, hey, everybody, what's going on? I didn't do shit. I wasn't having sex. I wasn't making out. I wasn't doing anything. His mom made the assumptions. I didn't say shit. So I'm already like in my head just making accusations. And everyone's like, yeah, chill, bro. Like, what's up? So I sit down in the living room. Jim comes down slowly because he has like, he's mortified. I can already tell. One of the other gothic kids from our school came over, and she brought her girlfriend over. It was nice to see her because I hadn't seen anyone of that group since high school. So I'm like, hey, what's up? But she had the bright idea to go to the Enchanted Castle. Enchanted Castle. It's so fun for everyone. Like, you guys know Enchanted Castle. Like, from the Midwest, I don't even know if it's out here or not, like in California, but
I've
Enchanted Castle.
Heard of the Enchanted
The Enchanted Castle. I don't even know where these things exist anymore. I don't even know if it's still a thing, but
Okay, hold on. I'm from the Midwest, and I have never heard of the Enchanted Castle.
I don't know where it's from. Like, it's just a thing.
You need to take a moment to describe what the Enchanted Castle was.
So the Enchanted Castle was on the same lines as Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
I don't know if the Odyssey was still a thing around this time.
The what?
Anyways.
Okay, stick with Enchanted Castles.
Okay. It was all the same shit. Like Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's was more for adults and like older kids and stuff like that. So it was the same thing. Enchanted Castle was the same thing, but it was in the shape of a castle, kind of like medieval times, kind of like that.
So was it like an arcade?
It was an arcade, but it was like castle-like on the inside, like castle themed.
Okay,
on the inside. So they had like dungeons and stuff like that, and it was cool because as a kid, like, you're just lucky that you're even there. But
you're not a kid. Okay, there's a gap between Chuck E. Cheese
Let me
and
explain.
Dave and Buster's.
Let me explain. Jim and his friend that came over, they're all the same age because they graduated high school at the same time. They might be 22, 23 at this point. I was still 19, 18, 19, whatever. So I'm like, I mean, it's something to do, I guess. Like, we can go out and at least we won't be here with the parents anymore. And like, let's just do anything. We'll name her Chrissy for the sake of the story. because that's her name. She doesn't follow me.
That's her name.
She doesn't follow me anymore, but
Let's call her Christy for the sake of story, but that's her name.
yeah, so Christy suggests that we go to Enchanted Castle
Okay.
because it's just something to do, honestly.
Shout out to Christy.
Shout out to Chrissy. Honestly, thank you. Thank God. Chrissy, thank you so much. The parents stay behind, thank God. So we get to Enchanted Castle. We're playing games. So then Chrissy gets another great idea. Let's do laser tag. Let's go to laser tag. I'm like, we're here. Let's just do it so we can just get this over with. But I love laser tag, by the way. I love laser tag. I love arcades. I love games. Don't mind me on this. But I'm just like, this is Enchanted Castle. There's nothing but kids here.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like a whole big germaphobic because places like that are just full
Well,
of
because
germs.
kids are gross.
Kids are gross. Let's just keep it simple.
Kids at a place like Chuck E. Cheese, Enchanted Castle, kids are gross.
Yeah. Jim, bless your heart. Jim is, at all points of this whole experience, is trying his hardest to get closer to me, to hold my hand, to be there with me, despite of what's going on in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I get it. But even when we're playing laser tag, like me, I'm not competitive by nature, but when it comes to stuff like that, I get competitive.
Yeah.
So when we're playing laser tag with these like 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds, I'm like ducking and dodging. I'm like pew pew pew, like just like incognito style, just going for it. He's over here with his gun. The gun in one hand, his hand outstretched, looking for me. The whole time, just trying to make any situation romantic. I'm just like, dude, I'm in full combat mode. Get the fuck off of me.
You in the corner suplexing kids.
Yeah, I'm like recharging. I'm rolling over. I'm like doing somersaults.
Stunners.
Yeah, I'm like giving them the people's elbow and shit. And here's Jim.
Trying to hold your hand.
Come, be next to me. Come stand next to me. I'm just like, dude. Like this is like the worst situation ever. Like I'm trying to get into this shit. This is your fault. This is your fault.
You cockblock yourself. You like Ray on The Force Awakens. Quit taking my hand.
Why do you keep taking my hand? That was Jim the whole entire time. I'm like trying to do my best to have a good time, but here
Not
he is.
Not a good look, Dracula
here
Jim.
He is.
Not a good look.
And I'm just sitting there rolling my eyes, and then it's finally over. We're having dinner. Jim's still like arm around my shoulder and everything. Like everyone's just looking at us like, are you guys an item? Like, are you guys looking love? Are you gonna get married? I'm just no. No. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Like why are we even here? So it was a good time. I had fun.
It wasn't. Look at your face.
No. I had fun at Enchanted Castle because it was I was getting into it. Despite everything else, despite how the day started, I was trying to get into it. I was trying to have fun. Jim, on the other hand, was just like, so what are we doing after? I want to go home.
You're like, I'm not
Take me home.
You.
Tell your mom to drive me home.
Tell your mom to drive me home.
Long story short, his mom drove me home, and in the backseat, he was trying to get one last kiss.
Oh.
One kiss. Mind you, we never kissed at all this whole time.
Yeah.
He was trying to lay one on me in the backseat of the car while his mom was in the front seat driving us. I'm like,
in the backseat of the minivan.
Just
correction.
Right here. Just right here.
You gave him at least that. Oh.
Right here. Because he was going for, I'm like, dude, look, your mom's right there. Your mom just told us, leave the door open. And here he is trying to like make out. He was like, here, like, so I hope you have a great night. I hope this was fun for you.
Oh.
I hope we see each other again. I'm just like, God. And like,
should have coughed.
He was trying to be romantic. I give it to him. I give it to him for trying. But I'm just like, dude, I'm already over it. And like, this has been 8 fucking hours with you, and I just don't want any of this. Long story short, we had one more conversation on the phone, and I'm like, I hope your parents and your family don't think that we're together because we're not. He's like, oh, we wouldn't want that, would we? I'm like, no, honestly, no.
No, I don't want that.
You're a good guy. But no, that's the end of my story. And after that, we never talked again. He knew it was bad, but he didn't think that I thought that it was bad. I didn't even know it was a date. Here I am just going out with you for the sake of our friendship and just... Here it is.
Yeah,
Here it is.
I'm surprised you even got in the minivan.
I kind of had no choice. I was locked in my own house, and I had no escape.
I mean, I
And
guess it's the less of two evils. But then the minivan to Aldi's, I would have just walked home at that point.
yeah.
Especially if it's a guy that kind of shaded you in the first place.
Yeah.
But
It was all lightheartedness. It was all innocent. And I regret every single moment of it.
moral of the story is don't get into minivans with vampires and their moms. Especially
You will
if they
regret it.
shop at Aldi's and think that Enchanted Castle or Chuck E. Cheese, for lack of better brands, is romantic.
I wonder if that was like a vampire initiation. Like, was that supposed to be my like way in to the gothic group? Like, now I'm thinking about it.
This next story is truly a great example of high school reunion revenge. There was this girl. Let's call her Rachel. She was one of the smartest girls in school. Actually, no, now that I think about it, she was the valedictorian of our class. Super smart, nice, and pretty. For some reason, people just didn't want to date her, and I never knew why. She would hang out in different groups, try to flirt with different guys, and she could never get a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, she was kind of talking to one of my friends. I didn't know her at the time. I knew of her. Anyways, he was like, yeah, so Rachel's talking to me. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't want to date her, though. Why? She's pretty. She's smart. She comes around. I finally get to meet her. We were both at homecoming or something, and we kind of danced or whatever. And then she started latching on to me.
Mm-hmm.
My friends started making fun of me like, oh, she's your problem now.
Oh, shit.
Mind you, I'm still that nerd from before. I'm like, cool, a pretty smart girl wants to hang out with me? Awesome. At least she doesn't have headlights. Started hanging out with her. She actually tutored me through parts of that year. That's saying a lot. I was an A and B student, and I still needed a tutor for a certain class. We kind of got a little cool. Then she kind of shot her shot and kind of expressed interest in dating me. Unlike my friends, I kind of gave it a shot. Went to hang out with her a couple times. It never evolved into a relationship. At most, we hung out for a quote-unquote study session, as she called it. And then she pretty much tried to make out with me. I don't know why I said pretty much, because we did end up making out. I thought she was pretty. I just kind of felt kind of weird making out with my tutor. At the same time, I wasn't going to say no. She kind of had it all in mind. She kind of had it all set up. Unlike our other study sessions, she had the makeup on. She wore some nice, provocative clothing. I was like, okay, this is a special session. We still got our studying done. So we still accomplished our goal. I'm thinking it's just like a one-day thing. But then throughout school, she was just kind of hanging on to me. I didn't know if we're like dating or not. It's kind of one of those fine lines of like, well, we kind of made out. In high school days, does that mean we're together? Some of the times it does. I kind of treated her like we were kind of together, I guess. But then we weren't. So, long story short, we both kind of agreed, hey, that was fun. It was just like a one-time thing. We were both cool with it. We were both mutually okay with it. Fast forward through high school, we still remained friends. She just kind of went on this streak of dating loser after loser, for lack of better words. Just guys that weren't good for her. They were the lowlives, the quote-unquote thugs of the school, just people that were just troublemakers. So she just kind of settled for anybody.
Wow.
It got so bad to where that didn't even work out. She ended up dating a guy that was in jail.
Oh,
a high school kid.
A
High school kid who was in jail for at least a year. She didn't even meet this guy in person.
Damn.
She was friends with the dude's sister. So during his collect call home, he talked to Rachel. Then Rachel at some point slipped it in there like, you can call me if you want.
Wow.
Now Rachel is taking collect calls from this jailbird, right? I don't know when it happened, but at some point they developed a relationship. And she told me about it. Even then, she used to flex on me about, oh, he says this and he says that. Me, being a person that has had sketchy people in my life, know that people in jail will say anything just to keep you on the phone.
Right.
So if you want to be flirted with or talk nice to, they just want anyone to talk to. At some point, people stopped taking collect calls and writing letters. I didn't want to tell her that it was just game because she was just so happy someone was acknowledging her in that way. Fast forward to more, he gets out a year and a half later. She waited for him all through high school.
Wow.
We finished high school and she was still with this dude. We were still kind of friends. We talked and she would try to flex on me and be like, "Oh yeah, we're so happy and we don't have sex, we make love." At the same time, it felt like she was trying to make a point, like,
Right.
"Oh, you could have had this." Backtrack to when me and her made out. She was trying to take it further. She was trying to seduce me. How do I know that? Well, she went out of her way to tell me that she dyed her pubic hair, and she showed me the top region. She kind of like pulled down her leggings and her panties, but look, like, oh, okay. She showed me everything except for when the vagina started, pretty much, right?
What the hell?
To get into full
Who
detail.
dyes their vagina hair?
'Cause she had dark black hair.
Okay.
So she pulled her pants and her underwear almost all the way down to show me 80% of her feminine area, right?
What the hell?
And yeah, anyways.
I'm still tripping on the fact, like, how do you dye your
Yeah.
Your vagina must be burning, girl.
Being in high school, I'm like, people do that?
Especially back then, like there was nothing for that.
Yeah, and that during that time of my high school life, I had never even seen a girl naked.
What did she use? Like L'Oreal?
I have no idea. My dumbass, because I was a loser and I wasn't dating girls, I'd never seen a girl naked. I didn't know if that was Sharpie or Kool-Aid or bleach. I didn't know how any of that worked or how you make that happen. But
bleach.
She showed me. I was like, okay, cool. Anyways.
Wow.
Thinking back on all that, I was like, is she mad that I didn't take it further? Is she mad that I was a respectful young man that was there to study and she took advantage of me and made out with me? I was the victim. After that, we kind of stopped talking. We went our own ways. We started college. I moved out of state. She moved out of state as far as I knew. Fast forward to just a few years ago, that friend that was making fun of me after homecoming calls me. Remember that girl, Rachel? You mean that girl that showed me her dyed pubic hair? He's like, yeah. Well, she called me, and I guess she called this person and this person. I'm thinking back. These were all guys that she was talking to. He's like, yeah. And guess who's on the list after me? It's you. I'm like, wait, back up. What are you even talking about? Okay, peep this. She's been calling us one by one to talk shit. I'm like, ooh, she's talking shit.
Oh my God.
He's like, no. It gets deeper than that. I'm like, what? Is she murdering people? Like, what is happening?
There's a list.
You are scaring me.
There's a list.
This girl is smart enough to get away with a murder list. He's like, so yeah, she called me and she was like, hey, remember me? It's Rachel. Remember how you didn't want to date me, but yet you would flirt with me and hang out with me? Well, guess what? I'm pretty much a brain surgeon. I make enough money to take care of you and your entire family tree.
Damn.
I teach in college. I have books. I have patents on things I've discovered. You messed up.
The flex is real. Oh my God.
I've been following your social media. I have friends that are friends with you, and I know that I make 1,000,000 times more money than you.
Damn.
I just wanted you to live with this fact for the rest of your life that you could have had this. I could have taken care of you.
Oh shit! She dangling those Maserati keys.
Maserati? No, she was dangling Ferrari.
She needs more than that.
She was dangling
Bentley.
No.
What? More than a Bentley?
Yeah, she was dangling like Lamborghini, $350,000 or more cars in front of him.
Oh, shawty, hook it up.
She was.
I'll be your girlfriend.
multi-million-dollar mansions across the country.
I don't even know you. I'll date you, shorty. What's up?
She went into
What's up?
detail of all the things she owns. She damn near might as well have sent him her W-2 talking about how much money she made this year alone. Because she did not hesitate to tell him, I made more money this year than you will make your entire life. The flex was hard. I'm sitting here like, as long as she's not out to kill me.
You're like fascinated. But you've been trying to that money.
I know. I was like, let me have sex.
Damn.
Let me have sex. Wait. Let me make love to your money.
Ooh.
Girl, I want to make love to your money because you don't have sex.
Me.
You make love.
You better than me.
So he's telling me his story. I'm just like, well, as long as she ain't trying to kill us, like, whatever. You made it sound like one of those horror movies where people treated a girl bad and she comes back and murders everybody like Carrie.
Man, you better run. You better run, man. She's coming for us.
I know. I was so scared. Then I sat there and thought about it. I was like, wait, I didn't treat her bad. It just didn't work out. We just didn't date. And my friend, I know he didn't treat her bad. He just wasn't into her.
Right.
She was like an Asian girl, and my friend was only into white girls, so I knew it wasn't going to work out.
Oh, man.
So, am I going to get called next?
Did she call you?
Ooh, hold on. Let me hold on to that for a minute.
So why didn't it work out?
It didn't work out because I was dumb. I was thinking with my heart and not my wallet. Low key, I looked at the money. I'm like, make this work out. Make this work out. Then
you live in set for life.
I would have. Then I met her parents, and I'm used to strict Asian parents. Asian parents hold their kids up to a certain standard.
Yeah.
I was not used to these kind of parents. I was not used to these parents that knew they had money and knew that their family was going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I was not in the same income bracket as their dog even. My family was not. The family dog had more money than my entire family tree. That's how bad it was. When I met them, both their parents drilled me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know proper etiquette enough to call on the phone. You don't call our house casually asking for our firstborn like that.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how strict they were. You need to be more polite and recognize the family you are addressing.
Ooh.
What? That was just on the phone.
Camp?
Like, that was the first level test.
What the fuck?
Back to your question. Did she ever call me? Surprisingly, no.
Wow.
I don't know if she called anyone after me. But just to wrap up that story, after I got that phone call, I Googled her name.
Mm-hmm.
Her story checked out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
I came across some career profile of hers and a public wedding album of hers that the photographer posted. And looking at that wedding, girl, she got money.
Damn.
She ended up marrying a nice young Asian man who was also a doctor.
They got money on top of money.
Yes. Wedding was beautiful. Apparently, she lives out here in Southern California.
Ooh. Look her up.
The last known hospital that listed where she worked is not far from where I live. I probably could go and find her.
She'd be like, I have a fever, doctor. Check me out.
Reading her career profile, she a big deal doctor, and she's written many books that are used in some of the medical schools to this day.
Wow. You go, girl.
Let me take a little bit of credit for that, because if you had dated me, I may have ruined your life. You may not be the doctor you are today, so you're welcome, and cut me some of that money.
That's amazing. She should have called those people and flexed on them hardcore. Like, I would have done that.
I'm sure she did. I bet that dude from jail was like, man.
Right, exactly.
It's one thing to miss what you never had, but he was with her.
Right. She probably gave him an earful.
Right.
Like, bitch, I was there for you. You was locked up. I waited for you.
I was putting money on your books so you can have them ramen noodles in jail.
So you get some fun dip.
Get some fun dip. So he could look pretty for his other jailmates.
Hey, she did that for him. You wishing she would call you.
know.
Shit, be like, yes, you're totally right. Can we get together for dinner? Maybe
Yes.
you buying?
Can you buy
Your treat.
dinner? Mm-hmm. All right, Shana, your turn.
All right, I got another juicy story. So I met this guy in high school. I was in my senior year. He was older. We met on MySpace. We met because he had found my profile randomly because he saw my profile. I had decked it out. I was all into like HTML and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had my stuff decorated.
You had one of those profiles that you couldn't get it to work because there was so much crap going on.
I got it to work, but he just saw like my interest. Like I was into directors. At the time, I was really into Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
I was into, indie films and different directors.
Yeah.
So he saw that right away, and that's how we clicked because he was trying to get into the film industry.
Yeah.
He was doing his own thing. Like we started talking on that aspect. He saw that I was really artistic. I loved art. I loved music. He was all into that too. We had the same interests, so we kind of vibed off of that.
Yeah.
He met me at a time where, I was just kind of like, I was growing up. This was my time to shine. Like, this was my last year in high school. So I was just, feeling myself a little bit like, yeah, I'm going to go to Columbia College in Chicago. I was all into that.
Yeah.
Like, Columbia College was so expensive. And even to this day, like, any art school is, like, really expensive. But I had my heart set on it. I was so into it. I was gonna move downtown with no money that I ever had. Like I just had a whole plan. So we kind of talked about that, and he was like all into that because he never even went to like art school or anything. Like he was just his own thing, and like he just liked that I was so into like what I was into.
It's funny how art schools are the most expensive schools for the most useless degrees.
Exactly. Shortly after I had graduated high school, we went from DMs to phone to text messages to everything. It was shortly after I had just graduated high school is when we started like hanging out more frequently in person.
Yeah.
And my mom was still on the fence. She was still like, just because you graduated high school, like I'm still gonna be quarantining you from the rest of society because I don't trust that you're gonna go with the right crowds and like whatever. So I kind of just disregarded her because I kind of did my own thing after high school. So my mom ended up meeting him. We'll call him Michael. She ended up meeting Michael just because I was talking to him so much to where she would notice it. So she met him. We introduced each other. We really didn't have any plans of being together. We were just talking at this point. One thing led to another. Shortly after that, we just started hanging out more and more. And he would come over to my house when my mom was at work.
Ooh.
So I had a boy over. I would always have him over. We would always play video games.
But did his mom drop him off in a minivan?
No,
though?
his mom was not living with him at all. He was a grown man. Well, so was Jim, but like, So I would have him over my house, and one thing did lead to another because we were spending so much time together. We did hook up quite a few times, but we were never girlfriend and boyfriend. We were just kind of like a summer fling. This was during the summertime, so it was like kind of a summer fling. We didn't really vibe more than that because we had an intimate relationship. As a woman, like I wanted more, obviously, but nothing ever came of it, and we never went past that point because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
He make that a key point in the story. He
didn't want to.
He never wanted to do that. We were intimate every time he came over, but for the most part, it was just like a drive-by situation. Like he would just come over, chill, we'd hook up, and then he'd leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing ever stemmed from that. We were friends.
It was like Uber Eats of sex. Okay.
He was a booty call, of course.
All right.
So we might have gone out to eat a few times. He might have treated me to that kind of thing, whatever. But we never were exclusive.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just never like a significant thing. Like we weren't best friends or anything like that. So long story short, we were chit-chatting, whatever, and then it just came to the point like at the very end of that summer, we fell out because I wanted more from the relationship. He played like he didn't know that I had feelings for him. Like he was just playing that dumb person mentality. Like, oh, you had feelings for me? I had no idea.
We just hooked up. I didn't know you liked me.
We were at Navy Pier and we had like our one last hangout together.
Ooh, Navy Pier's fancy.
We kind of just hung out one last time as friends. And then that's when we kind of had that conversation like, I have feelings for you. You have feelings for me. And it just stemmed from that. We fell out. We had a big argument. I left by myself on the train while it was raining. I was wearing his hoodie at the time and he called me on my phone as I was leaving. It says, "Hey, I need my hoodie back."
Oh.
And to make matters worse, that whole day, like I got on the train to leave to go home. He called me to get his hoodie back. I stopped at one of the stops and I told him where I was going to be, like on my way home. I stopped and got off the train, threw his hoodie to his face, and got back on the same train.
Damn.
Mind you, like when the train stops, it only stops for like a few minutes. We had no social interacting when I stopped and like threw his hoodie at him. Like it was just like a get off the train, throw, get back on the train. I left.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much like our falling out, our first falling out.
Mm-hmm.
So a few years roll by. He hits me up on Facebook. We chit chat a little bit. At first, it was just small chit chat. It wasn't anything special. But then it got to the point where he was saying things like, "You know how we used to be friends? You know how we used to like hang out all the time and we just used to be these best of friends? Like I want to get back to that." And before I even like said anything, I was just like, first of all, me and you were never friends. Me and you, we hung out. Yeah, we did hook up a lot, but like we weren't friends like that. You came over in a span of like a couple weeks out of the month and I would never see you like in between those times. It was very shallow and it was like everything that we did together was not significant at all. And I told him that. And then that's when he spilled the beans and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like then that's when he started taking accountability on himself, saying like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess you're right. Like I did do that. I did play the douche role in your life. Like I wasn't that guy that I think that I was." And like he just reneged everything that he has with, "Oh, we're best friends. We did." Like no, he reneged on all of that. He knew that I wasn't about that bullshit. So I corrected him so that we could, if there was any like friendship or anything left standing, that we could move forward. He's like, "Can we meet up? Can we talk in person? Can we do this? Do you remember that party you threw, that C2E2 party that you threw?"
Yes, with Yaya as the guest. Yeah, I remember.
So I'm like, that time was coming around. That party was coming up. So that was a perfect meeting place for us. So I'm like, yeah, my boy Renji's throwing a party. Let's meet up there after C2E2. He's like, yeah, I've heard of that. So it was like a really big club away from the C2E2 where it was held and stuff like that.
It was
like
the Shrine.
It was the Shrine. Yeah, there you go. It was a big party. It was an amazing party. All the nerds were there. Yaya Han was there.
Hold on. Let me flex. The Shrine.
Go ahead and flex.
The Shrine is a historic venue in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z's been there. Pharrell's been there. Like they have a lot of big acts.
It was iconic.
It's definitely an iconic place for the Chicago music scene. And your boy, fan service Renji, threw a C2E2 Comic-Con after party at the Shrine. All right, continue.
So I thought that was like the perfect place to meet because I was going to be there. Everyone was going to be there. It was a public setting.
Yeah.
I made him pay to get into this party.
I'm glad you did.
He shows up late.
Of course.
Maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes before the whole party just disbanded.
Before it closed.
Yep. He shows up late. Shows up in an Uber. This guy, I don't know what he was thinking. He was wearing a blue jacket, sports jacket, sunglasses. It was nighttime, by the way. Sunglasses.
Shades at night. Okay.
Shades at night.
Douche.
This like long, greasy Jerry curl in his hair, just looking like a total like, I'm a director.
Yeah.
Douche. Like one of those.
What was his name?
So by this time, his name was Michael.
Yeah.
But he was going by the name Trix.
Trix. I remember this guy clearly. He stood out in the crowd. And he did show up late. My doorman was like, "Should I charge this dude?" I'm like, "Yes." Because you ain't about to short me no money. The Shrine, like that venue was not cheap. So you come to my party, you paying, first off. And I remember you introducing me to him. And he was like, "Hey, my name's Trix." I'm looking at this dude like, bitch, Trix is for kids. You just look like a hot mess right now. Me and my boy and my door guy looked at this dude whispered to each other like, who is Shana talking to? This dude looked like Greasy Jesus with his long hair. And that outfit he was wearing, my boy was like, why does this dude look like he owned a pawn shop in New York?
I just think that we remember this blue, like it was like, I don't even know what shade of blue, but it was a blue sports jacket.
He just looked ridiculous. Like, what party are you going to?
I told him it was a nerdy party coming down from C2E2.
Yeah, it was like a Comic-Con after party.
Like, dress appropriately.
Yeah, he's showing up with stunner shades at night.
Showing up like a porn star director.
Pretty much.
A porn director. When we were seeing each other, he didn't look like that. He was well kept. I promise you, he was well kept.
Oh, I remember because after you explained to us who he was, we kept roasting you all night. We were like, you dated that dude? You're like, no, he looked different. We're like, well, he looked like shit now.
Exactly. I don't even know. Like, he just went by a whole nother persona. Like, he just wanted to be this whole different person. If he was cocky when I met him, he was cockier when he showed up to that party.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
He was way over the top. I had never known this man to look like this, to dress like this, to finesse in this way. I just couldn't even vouch for him anymore because I didn't know this man. I didn't know who he was at this point in time. So I just went with it. I'm just like, okay, like, did you just evolve into a new Pokemon? Like, I don't even know.
Into a worse Pokemon.
So that happens. We kind of talk to each other. Nothing significant ever came from that. We kind of just like went down memory lane again and just tried to talk about, how we used to love playing video games together, which that part I did enjoy. Like, we had a good relationship in that way. Like, I just remember that night, like, he just kept slipping in there, like, going back to the intimate parts. I was dating someone at the time, and I told him that. And my boyfriend was at the party.
Yeah.
And I told him, I even introduced him to him. When we were talking alone, he would just talk about the good old days and how we used to be and what we used to do. And it's like, dude, it doesn't even need to be like that.
Yeah.
But he would just slip things here and there.
Oh, yeah. He didn't care. He was Jesus.
He was Jesus.
And he owned a pawn shop.
So then after the party, we kept in contact because I didn't really have any ill feelings towards him at that point. I was already over it. But, like, whenever he would pop up in my DMs again, he would just keep bringing up, like, that kind of thing again. I would talk to him on a normal level, like new video games that are coming out that I knew that he might like, and he just was not having it. Like, he would every time he would slip in something like sexual in there, I would bring it back to like video games, nerd life, and stuff like that. He would shut that down every single time. Yeah. He wouldn't say like, let's do this, like let's get back into it.
Yeah, but he was clearly trying to get those nostalgia moments.
Yeah, he wanted me to talk about being with him again. Yeah. And I just wasn't having it because even being with him at that time wasn't a good time for me. And that's all I remembered. I never remembered the romantic parts, like what I felt for him. Yeah. After we had that falling out, I just forgot about all of that.
Yeah, because you were just a fling. That's how he treated you as.
And that's how he treated me as. And he just never understood that. What we had, even back then, wasn't shit. Yeah. He tried to hang out with me one last time. And this is like the final time that I just completely just stopped talking to him. He was in town. And he wanted to take me out to a sushi restaurant. He told me he didn't care which sushi restaurant. So I looked up a restaurant that I liked, that I thought was cool, that I thought was cheap and easy, in and out, whatever. He hits me back with, oh, that place kind of sucks. I just looked up the Yelp reviews. And he's like, what about this place? And this place that he suggested was totally cheap. Totally like $1 sushi bar.
Yeah.
What I picked was like regular, like $8, $10 roll, whatever.
The standard.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me that I could choose? Like, what's wrong with this place? Yeah. I looked at the Yelp reviews and that place sucks, and I don't think that it's going to be worth my money and my time to come out there for that. I'm like, dude, first of all, the place that you suggested is more closer to you than it is to me, first of all. Second of all, you told me to choose. You don't want to hear it. So honestly, I told him, I don't even want to go out with you. I don't even want to do this. I just did this for the sake of whatever friendship that we had before and just nip it in the bud and whatever. It was just too much back and forth about this damn sushi restaurant that I'm just like, no, thank you. And I kind of just cut him off after that because he kept arguing with me. And that's just the kind of person that he was in general. He just was an argumentative person. He loved to argue. He was a Taurus, by the way. Taurus says you guys are stubborn. You argue. That's y'all. And that's why I don't deal with Tauruses anymore. But so fast forward. Last year, my godmother passed away. He had heard about it because I don't even know why we were still friends on Facebook at this point. Like, I don't even know why. And he saw that my aunt had passed away, my godmother. He'd used that time to slip in there one last final fuck you to the bane of my existence. Oh, I'm so sorry about your aunt. Because I think he had met her briefly in passing in the past or whatever. So he's like, I'm so sorry you lost your aunt. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's a really sucky situation. He said that, by the way. That's a really sucky situation, but I know how to make it better. You know, I own hostels all around the world. I have one in Puerto Rico. Just say the word right now. I will hook you up with one of the hostels in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And I will meet you there. I will be your rock. I will talk to you, whatever you need. I'll be your shoulder to cry on. We can go to this hostel together and you can tell me everything. I just want to be here for you. I just want to be here in your time of need. So hit me back. Hit me back. If just say the word and we can just be on the next plane out of here right now. What?
Yeah.
What? In what world are you? In what world do you have the audacity? Seriously.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
All of that. I still have the DM to this day. Like, shit. I will screen cap the shit out of that and put that somewhere because that is how. What in the world?
Who does that?
I don't know.
Who does that besides Greasy Jesus that owns a pawn shop in New York?
One last fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, first off, you can't even afford regular price sushi. How are you going to have hostels around the world? Oh.
Apparently that's what he did after his directing career kind of tanked.
Oh, tanked. I was going to say.
I don't even know.
I was going to say his directing career popped off so much that he's got hostels now. Nah, pause for a minute. That's slick, right? He's like, I got these hostels. Meet me here.
Meet me here.
Meet me here.
Meet me here.
That means he ain't even trying to take you on a vacation and let you stay in a hotel. He's trying to have you meet him at a hostel. So he going to get there first, put down that $2.60 a night in some third world country. I mean, Puerto Rico's not a third world country, but you know what I'm saying. He trying to meet you somewhere cheap, put down $2.60 a night, book this hostel, be like, this is mine. This is mine. Oh, I get it. Why would you advertise a hostel? Because that's what his broke ass can afford. Oh, I done solved the mystery of Greasy Jesus.
And then he's going to take me back to that cheap-ass sushi restaurant.
I know. No, he ain't going to take you there. He's going to bring some.
I'm going to meet him there.
Yeah. You're going to meet him there because he probably ain't got no cars.
He took that as his way of getting back into my draws.
Wow, that's such ill timing. He wanted to hit you up when you were vulnerable.
Yeah. At this point, I'm at the wake. Yeah. On top of that, that's when I got his DM. I was at the wake of my godmother's funeral. Mm-hmm. He might not have known that, but still, it's like, what perfect timing for him, to just swoop in and be the hero of my story.
Yeah, he might not have known you were at the wake, but he knew you were vulnerable. He like you just said, oh, I saw your godmother pass away. He knew that, so that's when he chose to capitalize off of that. That's some grimy,
grimy shit. It is.
Trying to get you while you're mourning.
The conclusion about this guy, he just had one thing in mind, one thing in his mind about me, how to get back in my pants.
Yeah. He just thought you were that dumb high school girl.
Yeah. Because he never got to know who I became and who I was at that when we met up again. He never knew the kind of woman that I grew up to be.
I want to disagree with that. Because I think he has been watching you and has seen your glow up.
Or who knows?
Yeah,
who knows how long he's been watching me? Up.
A lot of these losers hold on to that, think that they still got it, that they can get you back. They see you glow up. They're like, oh, shit, she's this and that now. Mm-hmm. Just in his last 5 years alone, you've accomplished so much. So from when he met you to up until last year, he's seen you modeling. He's seen you on MTV. He's seen you have fashion shows. He's seen all the things you've done. He's seen you on the red carpet. Mm-hmm. Of course he's going to try to get back in your life. For some reason, a lot of guys out there hold on to high school shit.
Mm-hmm.
They think because they had something in high school, they still got it now.
Mm-hmm.
Or just because a guy hooked up with a girl once, it could be 20 years, 5 kids later. He still think he got a chance with her.
Exactly. For some reason, I don't know why men think this, but like once they've had you intimately, they just think that they own you for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah. It's sad, but it's how some dudes are raised. Why I say dudes? Because real men know better than that.
Exactly.
Dudes and guys and boys think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm sure Trix, that's such a stupid name.
That's what he wanted to be called.
Yeah.
Because he made tricks in the industry. He did tricks in the just to get
you
where
are
he
a
is.
trick.
He's
you
a
are
trick.
a trick.
He definitely is a
You're
trick.
the type of guy that's standing in the hood that's trying to shell out money for women's attention. You are a trick. Let me guess. Throughout this whole time, you mentioned earlier that you were a social media detective. I'm sure there was a girl in his life or...
Oh, yeah. So I went on his Facebook because, mind you, another quick side story about this fucker, but he had this complex where when Facebook came around, he was like, well, I don't ever want to have a Facebook. What he told me was that he just didn't believe in social media.
I want to keep my life private.
I want to keep my life private. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Mm-hmm. And he had briefly mentioned about some girl that he had met from out of town, like when he was on his directing thing or whatever. And it wasn't until he met this girl that he wanted to keep in contact with that he made a Facebook. And I found it and I brought it up to him and I'm just like, what about this Facebook page? I thought you didn't want to have a Facebook page. Oh, I met this person and she was really cool and she was in the industry. She was a fellow director. I wanted to keep in touch and keep our business going.
Did she own hostels too?
She wasn't even a director. She was just some woman that he met. I looked at his Facebook page and it had grown significantly. He had albums of pictures.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was in his life.
Yeah.
Very well so when me and him were together. So all the times that I didn't see him, all the other times where he couldn't be bothered and I couldn't get in contact with him or call him, he was with this girl. And who knows who this girl actually was.
Yeah.
Because we had a mutual friend who knew him a little bit better than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And he would tell me all the time, like, you should watch out because I don't know for sure, but he could have a wife.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this girl was his wife or whatever, because I did notice that he never would invite me over to his house. I don't know what really happened behind closed doors. Yeah.
That's so suspect.
I never knew. When I wasn't with him, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's like the oldest trick in the book too. Like, I don't do social media, but all of a sudden he does, and you look at it and there's a whole catalog of his life.
Yep. These were pictures from way back into probably before I even knew him. These were old pictures, stuff that he never put on MySpace at the time either, mind you. So when I found this album, it was just full of pictures of this girl that he was with, and who's to say? Maybe he was married.
Tricks. You played yourself.
You played yourself.
As DJ Khaled would say, don't play yourself.
He never wanted to be with me, but I knew he wanted to be with somebody, but that person would never be me.
Yeah.
Until he saw my glow up and until he wanted a little bit more from Shana Mostella, but couldn't get it because he was dumb. Because he was tricky. Tricky.
Tricky.
But not very good at it.
Well, high school reunion revenge. I guess in that story, the revenge came from you. He popped up in your life, but you're the one that had the last laugh because you're just like, bitch, I see right through you.
I gave them the benefit. I just entertained it a little bit. I knew that I wasn't into these men. Like after the fact, Jim and this guy Michael, Tricks, whatever. Like I already knew my worth. I knew my worth. I knew the kind of woman that I had become. I knew who I was. And I knew that I didn't want these losers in my life. Because by that time, I was already like over it. But I just entertained it. It was something to do. And then that's it. So I got the last laugh.
Yeah. We all got the laugh after hearing those stories.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim and Trix become friends and they drive around Chicago in that mom's minivan together.
Reliving the old days, the good old days. when one was a vampire and the other one was a director.
Ooh, maybe they can make crappy vampire movies together. Ooh, you never know.
I wouldn't put it past them.
You never know. All right, guys. That's enough going down crappy memory lane. Except for you, Rachel. You got money out there, so
Hey, you can hit me up anytime.
I was about to say that.
Hey,
you
lonely?
Stole my line.
Hey, no, you already had your chance.
I know.
I never had the chance. So if you lonely on a Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, you want to hit me up.
Oh, real quick. I know some of y'all watching the video version of this podcast may notice these cute little critters right here.
So our very good friend Phil Mizono, he is a very, very astronomically awesome cosplayer traveling around the world. Well, not right now because it's the whole coronavirus thing, the quarantine thing. Just wanted to give a really big shout out to our boy Phil. He's got a product store online. We will link you below of everything that you need to know about this guy because he is phenomenal. Just go over there, support him in this time.
Phil's one of the sweetest cosplayers we know in this world, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take a lot of time to give a product plug like this. # not sponsored. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. Artists need to support artists.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to take this moment to, up my boy Phil. He's really out there being the kind of artist we all should strive to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just a generally good guy who's there doing his art, embracing his fans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Phil's friend. I still waited in line 3 hours to see his ass at Anime Expo, even though I could have cut in line, but I didn't want to do that to his fans.
He is killing it in this game. I'm so proud of you, Phil, and I just wish the best of luck to you and all artists out there in this time of detrimental need.
So for now, since a lot of our favorite artists can't travel because of the travel bans and lockdowns, make sure you check out their online stores and make sure you check out Phil's store so you can get cute little guys like this. He also has amazing prints and photo books. There's something for everyone in all price ranges. So anyways, just want to take a moment to say that. We love you, Phil.
Love you, Phil.
With that said, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Shinobi Squad Podcast. I'm Fanservice Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
Follow us on all the social medias at Fanservice Renji and at Shana Mostella. That's the social media name across everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.